Good afternoon. It's Marie from Messy M Creations. Hoping you are all well today and looking forward to seeing what I'm going to create. I've got an interesting little pile here developing. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that little pile. Looks like I've been making little paper boats, but I haven't. So I will show you what I'm going to do with that. We're also going to use the stacked stones embossing, not embossing, that's not an embossing folder. This is the stacked stone stamp. So we're going to be using that today as well. So apologies for being slightly late. The day has run away with me again. I can't wait to go back to the times when I could nip out to the shops instead of it taking the best part of at least an hour and a half of my life. But hey ho, we'll get there slowly but surely, eh? So hopefully everybody is well. Hi Jeanette, hope you are well. Just going to prop my tablet up where I can see it. And then I will just show you these beautiful, let's get the name right for these beauties. I'm just so attracted to the colours. Peony Garden. So, yeah, just using the greys and the petal pink. So on one side, that doesn't show up particularly well, but on one side you kind of get a floral, the other side a more random pattern. That's got some of these beg to be coloured in. That one perhaps not so much for me personally, but you could highlight some of that and actually get a grey on one side and pink, petal pink on the other. This one definitely is crying out to be coloured in. And then a kind of more geometric pattern that you can't really see on the other side of that. So the camera's not really picking it up. So beautiful peonies there, which definitely that needs to be coloured in. And then we've got a kind of marble effect on the other side. And more peonies. We've got a beautiful, I'd say it's somewhere, but no, it's darker than melon mambo. It's kind of a bit melon mambo with maybe a bit of cherry cobbler mixed in on one of our peonies. It's a beautiful colour. It's not quite as bright as the new pink. So again, that's got a geometric grey pattern on the back. And then the last sheet has this circles pattern and a petal pink flower. So I have today, I've already been cutting a few bits out, but essentially the colours that this whole suite works with is petal pink, completely forgotten what that's called, basic grey, and grey granite. I was going to call that one grey granite. So there's a darker grey and a lighter grey basically. So the basic grey is the dark and the grey granite the lighter. So I've got my card ready and I've got my stacked stone. Now because the stacked stone is a background stamp, it really does work best on the Stamparatus. So, hi Kim, hi Jane. So I've got my ink pads. So it's whether I start on the most complicated and then go to the more simpler ones that I was planning to do, or vice versa. Perhaps we'll start complicated and then we can ease out, just in case the more complicated one takes me longer than I think it's going to take, and then I'll take up far too much of your evening showing you beautiful papers and cards. So essentially I am deconstructing this gorgeous card I got from my swap group this month. So I did a little calculation on how that was created. So I'm going to recreate that hence I have little bits of pepper. So I'm just using a Whisper White thick background with a basic grey layer and then the granite grey. So this really is staying within the greys for this one. So put my glue the right way up. So I've lost my snail. There we go. So I just love the colours of this, just really subtle and sweet. I don't actually have, there is a stamp set that goes with it. I don't actually have that currently. I just in the first instance went with the papers. So essentially you need 2 pieces of whatever designer series paper you are going to want to use, and these are cut to 6.5 centimeters by 9.5 centimeters, and then you'll take 2 of the corners and you're folding them inwards, slightly better than I have done there, so they meet at a midpoint. I'm going to hold that in place and use my little bone folder. So in essence I want to glue those together, and I would definitely suggest glue at this point. Just that one's been not pointed upwards. I really need to get round to, yeah, I really need to open another glue. Then we can get it a little bit out. So wet glue, just fold those edges in, getting them as close as you possibly can. And then the piece that's sort of left over, I have, I did use a the scoring blade just to create a nice sharp, hi Jane, crease, and then in essence we are gluing that top edge. So this you do top and bottom. So standard card base, 10.5 by 15.9 is the measurement that 15.9, 14.9, 10.5 by 14.9. Then on the basic grey I took it down to 14.4 by 10, and then for the grey granite piece I took it down to 9.5 by 13.9. So in essence we're taking it down. Now somehow I've managed to get glue all over the place there. Glue, let it dry. I'm going to let it dry and then I'll use my glue rubber. So yeah, taking it down 0.5 centimetre each time so we get a little border. And then because I was going to use a sentiment from So Sentimental, I essentially stuck with the So Sentimental frames and the shape. So I'm going to frame that like that, but I am most definitely going to be adding some of this gorgeous ribbon. So I'm just not sure how. Might just pop a couple of little things there. So let's get this other end. So again, any DSP you can use, 6.5 by 9.5. So that was where I had to use my deconstruction. The 9.5 is obviously the width of the card base, so that's pretty easy. But obviously you need the point at which when you fold those 2 edges in, that they meet. Oh, and that's why we need a bit of wriggle room as well, because it really needs to be as even as you can make it. And then again we're just going to stick that at t'other end, preferably without getting bits of glue all over the place like I have just done there. But we'll make sure we get rid of those. Not dry enough yet. So again, using wet glue, I've just lost it. There it is. So this will work with any designer series paper, any colour combination. And it's just important just to line it up so that you are masking that paper underneath, so you're not seeing that bit. And then that is going to stick on to there. So actually, with the addition of those extra pieces, might be worth considering cutting that bit of card slightly smaller. Where's my scissors? I've got a little bit of the pink showing from the back of that, so I'm just going to cut that off. So I will happily use snail at this point, so that, although I've said that very confidently, and I'm going to have to be very accurate about the top and bottom being lined up. There's a slightly bigger gap to the sides than there is top and bottom. I didn't change my sheet below. Does anybody see my post about how you can spend £7,000? Was it £7,700? If you've got it floating around, you can buy everything in the catalogue. So I decided that I was not going to work out what percentage of the catalogue I had. I don't need to worry myself about how much money I've spent. It's not what it's about. It's about having some fun. So this top layer is only going to stick to one of those tabs centrally. Oh, hi Ali. Sorry, I've been concentrating on getting my bits glued. I missed that you joined me, so thank you very much for joining. Again, I'm going to use wet glue. Right, tonight's project, stick these two bottles of glue together and get them to drain one into the other. Whoop! See, that's what's going to happen. I'm going to need to banish some of that glue for sure. So always remember with the Tombow, two ends. So I generally don't glue with the flatter end. I generally just use it to kind of spread out if I've done what I've just done there and put too much glue on. You're laughing at mine not wanting to work out how much money I've spent. Come on, admit it, we're all the same. We don't really want to know. So there we go, just position that, just make sure we haven't got glue on the other side. Let's glue that down. So our greeting is going to go here, our words, and that's why I chose the grey granite, because you can write directly onto that, and then that's going to close over, and then the greeting is going to go on there, which I think I'm going to put on dimensionals, and I think we're going to put a couple of this beautiful ribbon. It's not good for us, Kim, it's not. I'll cut that end. So I think a couple of bits of ribbon just laid across like that, with that on dimensionals, and then these beautiful faceted gems. Let's get these out of the packet. I mean, if you watch my oh, just got one on my finger. If you watch my unboxing, you realise it was all very exciting as I was unboxing things. Although I've now got a faceted gem that's sticking to me, not the piece of paper. There we go. Oh no, it's sticking to everything but what it should be sticking to. So yeah, so we have these sort of white, I don't know what they are described as, but I'd say they're white. These are more kind of the petal pink, and these are transparent. So So I think the transparent ones might look quite nice on that. So I'm keeping this very grey and white. So I'm thinking I'm going to use a bit of snail to put a couple of bits of snail across there just to position those ribbons. And this is just beautiful. Nice and shimmery shiny. Might go. Oh, hang on. Let's put that a little bit more evenly positioned. So that will hold those in place. Then my little greeting. I might just put a little bit of basic grey sponged around the edge because I do think it makes things pop a little bit more. Don't leave your snips open, they are sharp. I've just stabbed that into my finger. See, I'm doing it again. Do as I say, don't do as I do. Don't leave your snips open. We don't want crafting incidents. Yeah, we don't. I mean, I'd hate to think if I added up all my stash of crafting stuff. Honestly, I've got a lot of it. I'd hate to think what it would cost me to replace it all. So let's not worry about it. I'm not going to worry my pretty little head about that sort of thing. I'm going to be very 50s about it all. But yeah, this ribbon is just so shimmery and such a beautiful colour. I can see that being used a lot. Oh, I just realised I forgot to get my blends out. So I'm just popped some dimensionals on the back of that label. I'm going to pop that in the middle. But how lovely is that? Obviously it's a card that needs to stand up against something. It's really nice to have something different, and then it can sit whichever way people want it to sit. But we definitely need some bling on there, I think. Let's see. I'm going to use the clear ones. So I think then so I've got misbehaving dimensionals today. One of them wouldn't stick to the paper, and now this one won't come off. Oh, you see, that's, I think, is beautiful. Just keeping it really, really simple. Now, I think we had a debate the other day, and everybody was in agreement. That things have to be in 3s or 5s in odd numbers. Well, when's your birthday, Jane? Or has it been and you've stashed your birthday money? So simple. Sorry, you just got a great view of my roots there, didn't you? Just think that's lovely. Relatively simple, but relatively effective. And whoever received that would be like, wow. So yeah, so this is this monthly swap group that I'm in. I really do enjoy because I get so many different ideas from it. So that was cased from Sandra Roberts. So let's say the one that she sent through was featuring the sunflowers. So yeah, essentially I just worked out, I kind of deconstructed it and worked it out. But look, same idea, 2 completely different cards. So yes, case from Sandra Roberts, that one. So yeah, rather pleased with that one. So we'll put that to one side. And then we'll play with, I think we need to add some Petal Pink into the mix, don't we? So I'm thinking on the grey granite and possibly try it with that paper or that paper. Oh. See, this is the other thing. I'm going to have to make lots of cards to make. So I'm going to put the... Right, now this is all going on the hoof now, so I have no idea what's going to happen now. 23rd. Ooh. Exciting. You know where all that money's going to go. I love that. Crafting and buying crafting supplies are two different hobbies. It is when Stampin' Up have just produced such a beautiful catalogue. There is definitely, I love that. There is a whole hobby in browsing that beautiful catalogue. So what I'm thinking here is layering. So on the, oh, I've got a bit of a, what's gone on there? I don't know what happened there. There was a little bit of paper. So I always do keep a nail file in my crafting stash as well as all the other things, so that I could just tweak that. So I'm gonna put no, I'm just going to stamp it for now. I was going to go into heat embossing, but I think that's going to create far too much chaos. So let's see. I think I'm going to stamp it. Order on the 24th. Yeah, it sounds like that's going to be Jane's plan. Birthday on the 24th, 23rd. So I am still going to ink up the full. Just try and work out where that piece of paper is, but my worry then would be that if I missed it. Although when you're using the Stamparatus, but when you're using these large stamps, you can't use the magnets to hold your paper. Although what I have done is I've got it 3 down and kind of 4 across. Oh, sounds like a crossword, doesn't it? Never used this before. Let's see. Where's my pokey tool gone? This often happens when you haven't used magnets, and the only thing we need to be careful to do is try and lift it straight off. Oh, look at that detail. So now I've got nowhere to put my Stamparatus. Oh, that's rather nice, isn't it? So then I think we need some sort of, and more on the 27th. We just paid. See, we just live from we lurch from one craft purchase to another. See, what I'm thinking is, what greeting am I going to use? And because I think another layer of Petal Pink and then inking a greeting onto something else. I'm going to, so generally when I'm crafting, I do try to avoid bringing out everything but the kitchen sink. So I'm trying to avoid that again. We could have a small greeting that fits into there and an outer layer using these. So these are the dies from the So Sentimental But then of course, ooh, we could get something from Itty Bitty. Thinking Itty Bitty might fit in. Let's see what we've got in Itty Bitty. So essentially what I need to make sure is that my greeting is going to fit into there. Oh, never been used. Oh look, most of those fit. Oh, now do I try and live show you how to get this? This could all go horribly wrong. Right, I will do this as quickly as I can. So, cling stamps. I take off all the backgrounds on the rubber stamps. I have posted about this before, but I've done it in pictures. I've never actually kind of videoed the experience. Of course, I've got no blinking nails. So we just peel off. Oh, the dry brush. Yes, that's on my shopping list. Haven't purchased that one yet. So just whip off all these backgrounds. Then what I will do, so this is the easiest way I've found of doing it. I will pop out, I'm going to pop out that one, just two random ones, and that one. Then on the what do you call this bit? Well, that's a good question, isn't it? The bit with all the greetings on. So obviously none of this has got the writing on the front, on the rubber stamps. So the cling sheet, should we call it a cling sheet? So I take all the little bits off here. I'm trying to speed do this so that we can actually crack on with the crafting, because we didn't necessarily sign up to see this, but I don't know how other people do it, but this is how I do it. It's the easiest way that I have found. And clings do very much cling as well. So yeah, on the back of there, each piece has kind of, oh, I'm slightly off camera, aren't I? Sorry. Each piece kind of has a centre, so you can just pop each side off. I got so many stamps the other day, I've got to do this on so many things. And this is one that I bought a little while ago that's never been used. So now we have all our greetings, and this now exactly lines up. So all I have to do is line up those two holes as accurately as I can. And once you're committed, you're pretty much committed. Then I press down on every single shape, pop those two that I popped out back in, honestly the stuff that you see all over mine, and then oh hello, that one that one didn't want to come apart. So essentially this lines up exactly. Tear it off. All your stamps have, and I'm pretty impressed for the speed that I did that live. I'm pretty impressed with myself that I've actually done that without them. I mean, you know, if we're going to be really fussy, we're maybe millimetres out on a few of them, but hey, I'm not going to be that fussy. So I think, don't know anybody who's ill, don't know I'm going to use graduating. That's too big. Don't think I will. Do you know what? I'm just going to pop celebrate in the middle. Is what's going to go in the middle. Then one can hone. Oh, Kim, if you don't want to do them one at a time, you can re-watch, and then I generally pop it on so it's kind of stuck to the box, so you can see all your greetings on that side, and then you just pull your rubber stamp out of that side. Hey presto! What am I doing? I am going to ink that onto. I'm going to layer it on another Petal pink piece in that one. So I will pop over to my, I'm going to ink it in basic grey. Honestly, I'm going to take a picture of this blooming desk when I finish this. There is stuff everywhere. So I am going to pop celebrate in that little corner there, because we want to utilise our cardstock as much as we can. So excuse me while that looks like it might be a little bit too wide to go through my, so rather than crinkle a whole sheet of paper, I'm just going to cut a slice of that off. I've got paper everywhere, I've got stamp sets everywhere, I've got ink sets everywhere. I might just need to add a bit more light, so excuse me while I pop over here. And there's definitely no room for my big shot in front of the or are familiar with using dies. Anybody that isn't can always drop me a message afterwards, and I will maybe just do a little video just of that piece on its own. And anybody that does watch this on catch up, then please do say hello as well. So there we go, a couple of bits, and I generally would always recommend stamping the sentiment and then cutting the die rather than the other way around. Just eliminates wasting, particularly with these stitched dies. So the stitched dies obviously put the stitching around, so you can't reuse the same. Well, actually nothing says that I can't, it's just that you don't get the stitches. So I'm going to pop that onto there. I am going to ink that again around the edge. So just taking a... Oh, thanks for joining, Jane. So literally again, I'm doing that off camera again, sorry. So I'm taking a sponge and just going around the very edge. So just going down at an angle around that edge. I'm going to use a couple of dimensionals. I'm going to use the bigger size. Yep, they'll be fine. We do obviously have two sizes of dimensionals, and we do black ones if you were doing a very dark craft project. So just a couple of dimensionals, and basically pop that straight in the middle. Then I'm going to put the paper at one angle, that bit of thingy at another, and then that's going to go kind of more centrally. Might do another couple of bits of ribbon. Should we do a let's throw everything at it card? Yay! Let's just go for it. Oh no, that's... oh, didn't cut that one very straight. Well, not straight, but I tend to cut the two ends of my ribbon so the angles are the same, but obviously you could choose that to do that differently. Do you know what? Oh, I don't think I've got any. Grey, pink, no. There's a petal pink ribbon. I was just thinking a bit of petal pink ribbon might look quite nice. But anyway, not possible. So, we'll put some petal pink dimensionals that are somewhere on my very messy desk. So, this is so bad. This mess is terrible. I really must. I must take a picture of the chaos that I'm working in. But I think these peonies, you could add a little bit of petal pink what are they called? Blends. Honestly, one day I'll actually do a Facebook Live that's relatively professional. I don't think there's a right or a wrong way on that. Ribbon. I am going to stick that down flat. Right, and what I've got to do is make sure my card is straight so that I get the sentiment straight. Because whilst we've got the two bits of paper on an angle, it's very easy to end up with that on an angle. So hopefully I've done that. And now I can't tell whether it's straight or not. Well, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So let us see how these little petal pink beauties look. And put one on the grey there. And put this, there's this little one that really does not want to stay. Look at the petal pink on the petal pink. Oh. Then I'm going to do another big one. I'm going to keep it on. Oh, it might go with a 5 rather than a. Because I'm quite liking that. They come in 2 sizes. I mean, you know, if you wanted to, you could actually vary the colours that you used. So again, just need another one to. I'd say even it up, but we're odding it up. If that's such a word. Just made it up. I'm odding it up now. Where do I put it? Don't want it to be too. There. It's going there. So then I've got bits of paper that are going over the edge. So turn the card over. Trim those edges, and that gives you the most accurate cut. And there we go. So just 3 simple colours using a bit of embellishment and a bit of ribbon and a variety of paper and that lovely background stamp. I can see me using that a lot. Background stamps I don't always use a lot, but I think that one's going to become my favourite. So, right, what time are we at now? Have I taken up far too much of your evening so far? Very possibly, yes. So I think we will leave it at those 2, as I thought this one might take slightly longer than anticipated. But yeah, so a couple of cards this evening and a quick look at the peony papers. I think that might need just a bit of extra stamping down. But as I say, that's a traditional card, and a one that would need to lean up against something. But rather pleased with that. So hopefully you have found that useful. You've got a quick demonstration of putting cling onto the back of stamps as well. So hopefully you found that useful as well. And I am well impressed with myself that it actually went right live. So I am very happy. So thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. Bye.